From a distance, Chinese President Xi Jinping has been doing his best to make friends. Right now, Beijing needs them. It's facing growing international pressure, led by the US. Washington has imposed sanctions on Chinese officials it says are committing human rights abuses in Xinjiang and Tibet. It's also stripped Hong Kong of its special economic status, treating it like the rest of mainland China. A punishment, says the Trump administration, for the new national security law it says crushes promised freedoms and autonomy.
China's relationship with international society and the whole world's order is facing readjustment. Beijing is very worried that Hong Kong is the most unpredictable front line in this new Cold War. But what China is doing is turning Hong Kong into such a front line by denying its freedom, rights, and democracy.
The Trump administration is also considering barring China's 90 million Communist Party members from traveling to the US. It follows a toughening of its stance on the South China Sea, ruling Beijing's claims to most of the territory are illegal. Tensions, analysts warn, could lead to all-out confrontation.
China feels it's being constantly criticized by the press, by the international bodies, by individual countries. Everything China does is wrong, no matter what it is. So at this point, they become less interested in what people say.
Beijing has threatened to hit back at Washington and impose sanctions on US officials and weapons company Lockheed Martin. It's called the Trump administration's actions pathetic, but apart from strong rhetoric, has few options for retaliation. China's foreign ministry says it will fulfill its promises made under the first phase of a trade deal with the US.
We will carry out the agreement, but in the US, some people are unreasonably and crazily oppressing, cornering, bullying, and imposing hegemony on China.
And in the UK, Beijing is calling on Chinese companies to reconsider investments there after Britain blocked Chinese telecoms giant Huawei from its 5G network. And in China's south, millions of people have been battered by the worst flooding in decades, while in the west, new clusters of the coronavirus have emerged. But there was one bright spot in what's been a gloomy week for China's leaders, an apparent economic recovery from the pandemic, with 3.2% growth recorded in 2020's second quarter. Katrina, Al Jazeera, Beijing.